Welcome back to the Genus Brewing channel.
Today we're asking, should you turn this into a kegerator or should you just buy one that's already built?
Stay tuned.
It's morning and we need our coffee, but we also need our stout.
Obviously, you've decided that you want to go the route of building your home kegerator. So sitting next to us today, we have a couple of options. The first one is going to be pre-built, plug-and-play system, something you can buy online or at a store.
The second option is going to be build your own. So I have a stand-up fridge. That's one of the ways you can go about building your own draft system at home. And we're going to go over all the stuff that you're going to need for that in a future video. But right now, we're just going to go into the pros and cons of buying versus building your own home.
Let's start with the pros of a pre-built draft system or kegerator that you might buy. So first off, they're going to come already assembled, so you're not going to have to put any of the labor or man hours in essentially figuring out your system, running lines, when it comes to liquid lines, gas lines, and also balancing your system, which is a big issue that we're going to discuss a little later down the road for you.
Yeah, we'll go into the line balancing in a whole different video because that's a really important part to draft systems. But the important part about pre-built systems is you can go from plug to play right off the bat.
So another pro is that if you have some issues with your kegerator off the get-go, you can essentially call the manufacturer. They will help you fix that situation. It's not something that you're going to have to troubleshoot by yourself.
A lot of times they do come under warranty, and so if anything does go wrong, it's especially something blatant, you can definitely get it fixed. Almost little to no hassle, and it's not your fault, so you can blame somebody else.
So I think the last pro is that these guys are nice and compact. Yeah, you might only be able to fit maybe 2 kegs in a max, but they're only going to take up a small footprint in your home. So if you don't have a large area to build a kegerator and to store something more like the fridge that Peter's standing next to, then these might be a better option for you.
Another thing that's cool about a lot of the pre-built ones is they do come in an aesthetically pleasing package. They look good because they come from a manufacturer and they look like what they're supposed to look like. So to recap the pros of buying a pre-built kegerator, it comes assembled, ready to go. You can hassle the manufacturer if anything goes wrong, and it usually comes in a nice, neat package.
So the DIY kegerator is becoming more popular every day. Here we have a stand-up refrigerator. Other people will use a chest freezer that they convert into a kegerator. But Peter, why might these be a little bit better than, say, your store-bought one?
DIY kegerators are going to give you the ability to customize what you want in terms of the lines, the types of faucets you can use, and all the equipment that comes with building a kegerator.
If I want to just put 1 tap in this puppy, I can put 1 tap in. But if I want to get really crazy, I can probably throw 4 corny kegs in this, have 4 tap faucets coming out of this. Or if I want to do something like a Keezer, I might even be able to do what your dad did, which is actually put 8 faucets on a really large chest freezer, and he has more beer than God. So Peter, what might be the cost point of a DIY build compared to something in your $700 to $800 range for a pre-built one?
Right, so your starting point, it's only going to include just a few items that are going to cost you in that $220 to $250 price range, which might come with something like even just a picnic faucet to start off with. And then as you go on, you can use those same items while you upgrade and build into a full-out kegerator.
So if I'm budget oriented, that's a much more approachable price point for me. So that would be a huge pro to trying to build a kegerator yourself.
And it's really cool that you can actually spread that money out. You can get your first beer on tap right away, and then down the road turn it into a more official looking kegerator or something with more taps.
The huge benefit to a DIY type kegerator is your ability to upgrade it or customize it to make that kegerator exactly the way you want it and be able to serve the type of beer or ciders, coffee even, to whatever works best for you.
The types of faucets that you can use and the types of all the equipment in these kegerators that you can do if you're building your own, it does make a big difference. You can change and upgrade as you go much more easily than buying someone else's system and then having to adapt any upgrades you want to do to their kegerator. Let's go into the cons of buying a pre-built kegerator.
So the first one I can think of is definitely going to be the cost. Like we mentioned before, to get a quality kegerator, something like this 2-faucet one here, you're going to be looking to spend probably in the $750 to maybe even $1,000 range. And why is that, Peter?
Cheaper ones, the ones that are in that $400 to $600 range, which you can find online, they come with parts that aren't as interchangeable, and a lot of times pieces within them will fail sooner on in their life. A homebrew store like us, which specializes in helping you fix and repair and build new draft systems, has a really tough time fitting the pieces that go into those cheaper kegerators. And so we end up having to sell you a whole new system for those, which costs a lot more money than just replacing one little piece.
Just to wrap up the overall impression of the cons of buying a pre-built is that you are gambling a little bit with your money, especially if you're trying to buy something on the cheaper end.
If you can spend the money and get a nice kegerator, that's awesome, and it'll probably be the better way to go for you. But if you're looking to spend in that lower price range, and by lower we don't mean cheap, we mean $500 to $600, building your own might be the better option. So major drawbacks to building your own, obviously it's gonna take a lot more time to build your own kegerator than it would just to buy one.
It is. It's going to take probably 10, maybe even 15 hours to really set up and build one of these.
So somewhere in that range of 60 to 90 brews for Logan if you saw our speed brews video.
Part of that time too, which is I guess is going to be another drawback, is going to be the fact that you do have to do what's called balancing your own system, which in a nutshell is balancing the difference between temperature, pressure, and resistance of fluid throughout your lines. Yeah, so that pretty much sums up the DIY kegerator versus store-bought.
That's right. We'll link some stuff down below. If you want to support us, feel free to click through to our links if you want to check out any of the products that we use to build our own kegerators on Amazon. Also check us out on Facebook and any other social media platform. Comment below, like, subscribe, talk to us on the YouTube comment, whatever it's called, and we'll see you next time.
Chug beer.
We're done. We're leaving. Parked this way.
Huge sort of
Sandwiches.
sandwiches.
I'm a mother sandwich, you're a mother sandwich, random band guy. And the Mary Kay lady.
Bunch of guys drinking beer in the back. Weirdos. Current temperature in our studio. Cut a diamond.
Customization. Buyer. It's not what it looks like, guys.
Ah, damn it. Damn it.
Welcome to Genus Brewing Company. Today... Channel? Genus Brewing Company. Welcome back to the Genus Brewing Company. Should you just drink more beer?
All right.